Welcome to the East County Sports Report. I'm Ramon Scott. I'm joined by Dave Dickens of EastCountySports.com. Dave, joining us this week, members of the Grossmont College women's volleyball team, Shaney Lipscomb, a freshman outside hitter from Cathedral Catholic High School, and Alexis Vanlandingham, from sophomore from Granite Hills High. She plays opposite. Dave, the Griffins are 18-5 and are getting ready for a rematch this Friday night against San Diego Mesa. The Olympians handed Grossmont one of their 3 conference losses this season. This is the regular season finale against the undefeated first-place Mesa Olympians right here at Grossmont College on Friday night. Unfortunately, Mesa has ended the Griffin streak of conference championships, 8 consecutive championships, so I'm thinking upset this Friday night.
Absolutely. I think that after some bumps in the road along with San Diego City, last time they played Mesa, there was some underlying issues along with they've had the injury bug all season, so they've been scrapping people together, and granted, I'm sure as you both understand that everybody has played fantastic in the lineup. I mean, everybody's stepped up, so with Mesa being top priority, as we spoke earlier, there's not a real good possibility that you'll be hosting a home game. But with Mesa coming here on Friday night, this will be like a playoff game, and it'll be playoff atmosphere. Probably that type of atmosphere is going to be pretty loud. I'm going to start with you, Alexis, on, I mean, what really started, I mean, you started out of the gate so fast and so many wins. I mean, you were even up to number 4 in the state at one time, and then conference play started. I mean, besides the injuries, do you have any other ideas of why it started going downhill?
I can't really pinpoint one certain thing, but I definitely think maybe just lack of understanding that we did have that kind of, we had a lot of injuries, so we didn't necessarily step up fast enough and get onto the grind fast enough and hard enough, but yeah.
And Shaney, if you'd like to echo on that as well. I mean, Coach Ivers is definitely, she's not appreciating the last loss against Mesa, and I'm sure she's drilled it into you guys that this has to be a win come this Friday. And then she's probably just as fired up as you all are. Yeah. Is there anything different maybe that you guys have put into practice? I mean, not any game secrets or anything like that per se, but something that she's focused more on to be able to defend against a team like Mesa that's undefeated?
I think at this point in the season, like through all the bumps and stuff, when we focus on teams like Mesa or like City, like high level competition teams, our goal is to focus more on them than us, because when we get too like focused about what's going on our side of the court, we forget what's going on their side of the court. And so I think for us, a big goal will be like, can we take care of our side of the court so then we can take care of their side of the court? And I think that's been our biggest struggle this entire season, is we have struggled even being able to take care of our side of the court, so we haven't been able to like do scouting reports, blah, 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 whatever, to focus on the other side because we've been struggling with our side. So I think going into this match, that's going to be a huge thing, is now like, okay, we have our side set, like we're grinding our side, like now let's look at what they're going to do and how we can like play against them.
It's just a matter of like playing Grossmont volleyball over anything else, and remembering where like we work so hard, we're in the gym all the time, so just playing our game should, like, that's enough, and we need to focus on that.
And you know, we started at the beginning of the season too. We talked about what you guys want most, and that definitely was another banner. Shaney in particular, being newer to the program, that was the biggest thing you said. You had said that to get out of the season, the most that you would want out of the season would be a national championship, and that's huge to you. Unfortunately, that's not going to come into play, but we can still salvage a positive season with a couple of wins, and especially starting with the Mesa game. And what would you guys say that is, and I'll start with you, Alexis, what's going to be one of the main keys to defeating Mesa this Friday?
Like, I think Shaney did a really good job of saying it, and like I said, just playing our game, because we know how Mesa plays. We've played them once before. We know their tendencies. So I think that as long as we just focus up, stay super disciplined, and get back to what Grossmont volleyball really is, and we just go out there and work the hardest, that I think that that's going to be enough, and just staying together through it all, and just kind of have that inner mindset going into the game is like, we're gonna win this game, we're gonna grind through the whole game.
Right.
So yeah, just playing our game.
Dave, I think that's a credit to some of these other programs locally. I mean, Grossmont has been on top for many, many years now, and both Mesa, which has gone undefeated in conference, and City College, which right now is battling with second place, really, with Grossmont. That's why this game kind of looms large. Well, this past week, Grossmont knocked off rival, if you will, neighbor, not a rival necessarily, but beat Cuyamaca, and even that took 4 games. Dave, this team's 18-5. Talking as if this is upsetting. It's still been a great season. Even that match, though, Shaney, that match against Cuyamaca was 4 games, and you were upset about the result of that, and it was still a win.
I think it was just definitely surprising to have to take it to 4 games, but
Yeah, I think we set a very high standard for ourselves, and which we should. That's not something that we should be praised for at all. That's just what we do and like who we are.
yeah.
And I think when we don't meet our standards, it pisses us off, it pisses Jamie off, and I think going into the Mesa game especially, we're gonna like use that inner fire that we've kind of built up over
Yeah.
the season of not meeting our goals, and I think that it's gonna all come together, and good things are gonna happen.
Dave, I think what you saw in the match against Cuyamaca is something that you see typically in sports. The night before, the Griffins lost a thrilling match. They lost in 5 games to San Diego City College, and they were trying to avenge a match from earlier in the season when City kind of caught them off guard and swept them in those 3 games, and they were really taking it to heart. And that 5-game loss to City probably was looming on their minds a little bit when they took the court against the Cuyamaca Coyotes the next night. I think that maybe that's some of the emotion that you guys were feeling, Alexis, and that's why maybe it was more of a difficult match. Tell me about maybe about the first match against City, which obviously very frustrating to get swept by them on our home court, and then playing so tough against them the 5-game match on Friday night. How did that go? Tell me about the finish of that match. I think we lost 15-10 in the 5th.
Yeah, that was definitely a really upsetting game. I think that we worked so hard to get to that 5th set, and for it to have ended the way that it did, it was really upsetting. I know that I personally was like, that was probably one of the most upsetting games for me. But just knowing that we had them, I think the score was 11-10, and we kind of just let them have it with like unforced errors, and we played really well that game. I think we just made mistakes at critical times, and it just built up and didn't work in our favor, which it was definitely upsetting. But
Shaney, was any of that on your guys' mind as you took the court the next night? A match that obviously we're supposed to win against Cuyamaca, and it was a little tough. Those losses are stinging right now. I'm trying to compliment us on an 18-5 season.
Yeah.
It's certainly fitting of Grossmont's tradition of winning seasons here.
Yeah. I can't speak for the whole team, other than what I can see and what I know we've talked about. For me personally, too, I don't think we brought that loss into our next game. I think we had a very real and much needed talk with Jamie after that game.
Yeah.
She got on us, which we 100% deserved, and everything she said, I think Lexi can agree with me, like, we needed to hear.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, put your big girl pants on, like,
Yeah.
there's no more messing
messing
around.
Dave, that's Coach Jamie Ivers, that's Coach Russell, that's what this program stands for, and that's probably been drilled into their head, and they're going to be thinking about that when they hit the court again on Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the main reasons that you picked Grossmont College, is because they were and I quote you on that, it was most similar to a D1 program, and because of the discipline and the system that you were being taught by Jamie, and I'm sure she has fulfilled all of that she promised when you first started here.
100%. It's exceeded my expectations. I think I've not only grown physically, especially after coming off a surgery, trying to automatically expect yourself to get where you were before your surgery and above was really, really tough for me at the beginning of the season. And I think it would have been a lot rockier of a road without a coach that pushed me but equally supported me. And she's taught me and every single girl on the team a lot of lessons by using so many different resources, so many different ways to try and help us grow as players, which I can't name many coaches that would put in the time and energy and love that she puts in for us. It is insane. We are literally, she is 16, well actually I don't even know how many people are on our team, but she has a lot of kids and she treats us all with the same respect and love.
Yeah.
I'm really, really grateful for that.
And to still have that kind of passion. I mean, this is her 13th season coaching Grossmont College women's volleyball. So, and I asked her at the beginning of the season too, I said, does it feel like it's been 13 years? And she goes, oh yes, it does. And she meant that in the most respectful way, of course. Another thing that I remember you saying, Lexi, at the beginning of the season is Coach Ivers had really helped you between your freshman and sophomore year of getting out of your own head.
Yeah.
And being able to focus more on the task at hand.
Yeah, definitely. It's so crazy I mean, Shaney wasn't here last year, so she can't have any comment on this, but I'm a completely different player than I was last season, and it's honestly all mental. And just having that confidence, knowing, oh, maybe I am kind of good, and Jamie has definitely helped with that. She's just kind of brought me back to the basics and the reason that I started playing this sport in general. And like Shaney said it so well, there's not a coach that is going to care about you as much as Jamie, and I am so thankful for her because she definitely has helped me become the player that I am, not just physically but mentally as well.
Right.
Dave, we have two leading kill leaders on the Griffins here, and I just want to ask them about some of the other personnel on the team. And what I'll do is I'll ask Lexi, since she's a sophomore, I'll ask her about some of the younger players, and then maybe Shaney, you can comment on some of the leaders of the team. We also have a couple of locals on the squad right now that are making a big impact. Kylie Snyder came from Granite, and Kaylee Barrera from West Hills. So tell me, Shaney, can you give me some of the leaders, some of the sophomores that you've seen leading the way for the younger players that are going to be next year, that they're going to be counted on to get us back to that championship level?
Together have a lot of leaders, but someone that really stands out to me and that I've really, really seen grow. I mean, I didn't see her last year, but Kaylee.
Yeah,
Kaylee.
We call her Kiwi.
She, for me, especially being in the back row, you want to know, that little libero or that little DS, has your back, and every time I go up to hit, I hear her. I hear it tip donut, hit line, and having that voice, you don't one, she's really good, but two, you don't need a skill level to have that energy and that position as a leader, and she's really pushed the team to use their voice, have energy, put effort on the court and push themselves and not afraid to be guys, let's go. Wow.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. And Alexis, some of the younger personnel that maybe you're looking forward to coming up?
We have Haley Morton. She's our other setter, and honestly, I think that all the freshmen that came in this year have done a really good job of like becoming like a Griffin, I guess, if you will. I've had like so much fun playing with them and seeing them all grow, and I definitely think that next year's team is going to be really strong, especially because we do have so many young players that have witnessed, you know, this season, and so now they know how to take that into their season next year. So I'm excited to hear about it next year.
Nicolosi's is San Diego's most authentic Italian restaurant. For more than 60 years, they have been serving up fresh and authentic recipes passed on from generation to generation. Nicolosi's offers Italian food catering, wedding catering, special event catering, large business takeout orders, office takeout orders, school restaurant fundraiser nights, and birthday parties and private holiday party reservations. Come on out and see Ron and Barb at Nicolosi's. Going to an event at the sports arena? Well, come on by and say hi to the Nicolosi's team at the sports arena. We are now serving some of our favorites during goals, games, and other events. Visit them today for the best Italian food in town. Mangia!
Yeah, and another thing that is overlooked sometimes is the amount of vocalization that you guys have in support, you know, from the sideline and pumping those girls up that are actually out there at that time. And I am going to mention Shaney on one of, I mean, even when you're on the court or you're off the court, I mean, you're one of the, and it's a good thing, I mean, you're one of the louder girls on the team, and they really react in a positive way too. So you're making an impact not only by your play, but also in you supporting your players with vocal.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's who I've been as a player my whole life, but something that I'm very proud of with our team is we have struggled with keeping team energy on the court during games, everyone contributing like energy and positivity and just a sense of urgency. It doesn't come from a bad place. I think a lot of the girls are still trying, not a lot, but as we've grown as players, they're trying to figure out, like, even though I may be like an internally quiet person naturally, like, this is how I have to be on the court, and I have to leave that personality trait off the court. But something that I'm so proud of this team is how we act off the court, like during games. Our bench has, I think, it fires me up, and usually I block out everything. I block out the stands, I block out the bench. I try not to block out my coach, but I block out everything. And like, there's still moments where I'm like at the net, and then all of a sudden I hear these like stupid funny cheers, and I'm trying not to laugh. And like, you look at the bench, and like, girls that haven't been in like 4 games are like on their hands and knees, like slapping the floor, and like, that's how you know they have your back. Like, they don't care that they're not in the game. Like, they know we're a team.
Yeah, our team definitely has a really good team chemistry. We all get along really well. It's like, I mean, we're together more than I'm with like my own family, basically.
Right.
So we've definitely become a family, and I think that's really important. Just through all the hard times, we've definitely done a good job of sticking together.
Well, I mean, this is, it's your job. I mean, you're coming to your job and as most of us do, when we're in the workforce, we are spending more of our time, unfortunately, doing our job, but yours isn't so much a job as you are getting to play one of your favorite games and being to play at this level and get to the next level, hopefully. And I mean, with what I've seen, there's going to be several of you that will get to that next level, and because of where you're playing, who's been coaching you, I mean, you have both echoed the same thing. So I think D1 definitely is in the future.
Yeah.
Knock on wood for that one.
Plenty
Well,
of it.
until
Yeah.
then, Dave, there's still more work to do this Friday night. We want to invite everyone down here for the season finale at Grossmont College. We're going to be taking on the conference undefeated Mesa Olympians on Friday night, the regular season finale. And then, hey, this is a program we know if we get into the playoffs, we can do some damage because we've been there before. So that's something we have to look forward to there. And I will mention that Shaney, she's got some responsibility on her hands next year. Trying to keep the streak, start a new streak of banners, if you will, at Grossmont College.
Next year we'll be
Alexis, Vanlandingham, Shaney, Lipscomb, Dave Dickens, Ramon Scott at Grossmont College. See you next time.
dope.